Well, greetings gamers, and wow, we walk into the dance. Yes! Welcome everybody. Greetings gamers, this is Dr. Ayleen, the Gaming Doc, and this is your place and your space to laugh, to chat, to chill, to hang out, to take a moment, to take a break, to take a breath, and say it is Wednesday, and not just any Wednesday, it is we've got this Wednesday. You've got this. No matter what you're dealing with, no matter what you're facing, no matter what it is that is challenging you, you've got this. You've got the tools, the talents, the abilities, the smarts, the tenacity to overcome anything. And while you've got this, we've got you. So together, we've got this. and our gold medalist first out of the gate is Jane the Deuce. Oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. It has been a hot minute. Jane, how are you, my dear? And have mercy, Daddy Smarts, I don't have that. Oh, I disagree. I think you have the big brain. You have the ability to calculate, to figure out, to logistically negotiate all of the things that have challenged you, because you have overcome 100% of everything you've ever faced. It may not have been pretty, and it may not have been the solution you wanted, but if you are here, you did, and that does not come without some smarts. So you have the mega smarts, and you are also our silver medalist into the stream. Yay, I wonder who's gonna have the bronze. And NWLR Padre, hey, welcome in. You are a bronze medalist. And just like at the Olympics, champions, take your places on your risers, wrap yourselves in your national flags as we play your national anthem. Yes, it is. I'm good. Still not used to your new schedule. Been watching after the fact. Yes, I am starting a kick stream. After much deliberation, concentration, and evaluation, I've decided, you know what? Let's give this thing a try. Now, yes, I know that it can be tricky. I know that it can be a rather interesting place. And yet, I will wander into the wilderness and decide, you know what? Maybe I can do something with this place. Oh, you're Sergeant Electra! Oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire! Fist bump, high five! NWLR Padre. First off, I want to know how that name came about. And second, did you get the hacked? Did you get it hacked? I'm hoping you didn't get it hacked. There have been a lot of people getting hacked lately. But Sergeant Electra, Cat Mom, meow, Mama Doc. Tilt this a little bit. That was bothersome to me. How are you, Cat Mom 97? How are you doing, my dear? So yes. I will be starting Saturday. I will not be doing the Saturday gaming stream here. I'm going to start doing that on Twitch or on Kick. And then on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 6:30 to 9:30, I'll be doing like evening streams over there. So we're going to try it out, see what happens, see what the buzz is, see if I can do something interesting over there. Yes! So it is, you know, we just go with things that are new, and sometimes things that are new can be a really rough thing, because different is not comfortable normally. In fact, usually if something is different, it immediately goes into that place of uncomfortable. And that's where, you know, when we are able to go, okay, whatever this is, as bad as it seems, as overwhelming as it seems, I'm not alone. And let's see, fantastic. Actually sitting next to Electra. See? Bing, bing, bing. Not alone. It's Audrey, but the NWLRP is a server that I'm in for GTA. Ooh. I like that. That is so cool. And It's I have actually, that's the role-playing one where people walk around and pretend to be someone else. I find that tremendously interesting. Bloodella, Doug, Bloodella. And Bloodella, who was last seen playing Fortnite, another game that I love to watch. I don't ever think I'll be good at it because everything moves so fast. Ugh, it scares me. The name is my RP name in the server. Oh! I mean, is that like fun? Is that, I would guess it's fun, because otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. But it seems very complicated. It seems like there's a lot of control things, like buttons. Isn't it that you got like a gazillion and one buttons that you have to push in order to make things happen? I've heard that from folks, that the game mechanics are definitely, there's a learning curve to it. But I hope you're enjoying it. I'm just glad I found my BF at the perfect time. Yes! When the anxiety attacks started to hit because my mom and dad would never hear me and my problems. They like me to be a straight boy, but they got non-binary mess. What? I take exception with the that word mess, unless we're talking non-binary, mess of amazing, a mess of spectacular, a mess of lovable, a whole mess of coolness. That's the only mess that I would ever relate to you. And I'm very sorry that you were not heard, that you were not honored, and you were not appreciated, because you deserve that. Especially from the people who, more than anybody else, should be able to be in your corner. And as a mom, I'm sorry. If your child comes to you and is carrying something that is this important, that's got to be there, no question. And I'm sorry that you didn't have that. And always know you've got that here. We will celebrate with you on things you celebrate. We will grieve with you on things you grieve. And, they don't even know I have a boyfriend. Oh, well, we're happy you got a BF. We're happy that there is someone very special in your life who helps give you that eye of the storm, who is that quiet place, who is... Oh, there was a saying that it's like, how, sometimes at a party you go and find a corner that feels safe. Well, that person is your corner. And I think that is amazing and wonderful, and I'm so glad. And at a perfect time, that's even better, when things happen at the perfect time. Of course, I guess everything in a way happens at the perfect time. But, he's my pocket of air that doesn't let me breathe in all that CO2. Oh, I love how you phrase that. Oh, that is so sweet. J Stun Z, last day of freedom. Fist bump, high five, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the arena. The one, the only, J Stun Z, one of my moderator supremes, the king of New York, the reigning monarch of Staten Island, and I will hear no argument. The absolutely awesome OBJ Stun Zobi for me, in all things from figuring out OBS to finding love in my time and portion to farming like an absolute wizard in Stardew Valley to figuring out the world of Kick and how to get started on that. Jay is all things amazing. You're painting! Ooh, what are you painting? How are you painting? Is it watercolor? Is it like, acrylic? Is it oil? Is it... Ooh, my mom loved painting. Oh, and my dear Electra, as always, when you create something, when you when you bring something into being, whether it's a painting, a muffin, a song, a joke, it could be drawing a stick man on a piece of paper or humming a tune. Anytime you create something, you change the fabric of reality in the universe. All of the universe. Because what you are creating didn't exist anywhere in the universe until you made it exist. So yay! Acrylic. Oh, it's a rose. Oh, my mom used to love doing roses, but she always said how hard it was because it's like doing like the dewdrops, and all of that stuff, and I guess it's like you do the things in like groups of 3s or 4s or something like that. When I draw, I just sketch. You are still changing the fabric of reality in the universe, so fist bump high five for your creativity would always be. That's why we have the show and tell section for anybody who'd like to share that. Yep, tomorrow. Oh, so you are driving tomorrow, so no strike? Hopefully. Hopefully that will be good news. Just like a simple drawing with a bit of detail, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, my dear, because no matter what you do, you could draw a single line on a piece of paper and you still have changed the fabric of reality in the universe for the better. I suppose I should say that. I can't draw or paint. My stick people need help. Bloodella, I know your stick people are amazing. Plus, you do makeup. You do that creativity of altering and bringing out a whole new being from somebody. That's pretty freaking amazing. As of right now, no. Well, we will cross our fingers, our toes, our eyes, and we will knock wood for you. Just a pencil. That's all I need. Well, anytime you guys want to post your art in the show and tell section of the Discord, please, please, please feel free, because we love that stuff. I mean, and this is like, like show and tell back in school. I mean, I know I had it when I was little, where you sat around in a circle and everybody had something to share that they were proud of. Maybe it was a picture they drew. Maybe it was a new toy they had. Now, the big mega thing for show and tell was when somebody got a new puppy, which meant that one or both of their parents would bring the puppy to school during show and tell time, or the new kitten, and they would bring it in and everybody would get to ooh and ah over the new pet. But no, drawings and macaroni necklaces. Fist bump high five if you ever made a macaroni necklace. But that can change any second. I called my parents today and every single one of them were excited that I got the kids again. Well, of course they were. Everybody would be excited for, you to be transporting their children safely. Bladella, stick people equals Giga Chat. MSB! Richard, how are you, my dear? Macaroni necklaces just hit different. Oh my goodness gracious. Yep, back in the olden days when dinosaurs roamed the earth, fire was coming right along and the wheel was almost totally round. And I was a child. That was one of the big things. That was one of the big Mother's Day things. They got macaroni necklaces, and at school, the teacher would spray paint a bunch of macaroni gold, and then once it dried, we would take the dry macaroni and we'd run it on some threads and we'd tie a knot, and that was a macaroni necklace. Just hit different. There are 2, 3 that I know are going to be super excited tomorrow. I'll bet. Macaroni art was always so fun for me. Oh my gosh. I mean, and like back in the days of rubber cement glue and decoupage. If you don't know what decoupage is, Google it. It was like kind of a paper mache type of thing. Oh my god, we did paper mache, and dipping bits of newspaper, shredded newspaper, into a combination of flour and water, and then you had to kind of wipe off the extra, and you'd put it on things like you wrapped it around a balloon, and then you'd pop the balloon and you'd make a piñata. Oh, I mean, what were some of the kid art things that you guys remember doing? I mean, we had, like I said, our thing was macaroni necklaces and what is it? Decoupage. Hold on, I have no idea if I'm even spelling it right. Hold on. Decoupage. Mod Podge, yes. Let's see if I can find like an old thing of, so because basically you would take like either, you know, little newspaper clippings, you know, ask your grandparents about newspapers, or magazine clippings, and you would cover, you'd put stuff on it, which was like hodgepodge, and then you'd cover things with it, and then it would dry, and it is like stuff like this, and you know, you would put it on things. Yeah, it was always like a bottle or a glass or a jar, yeah, stuff like this, but you put the goop on it, and then you would put that in. Okay. Doing okay. Oh, macaroni. Doing okay. Had a blast over the weekend because you got to take your girlfriend to the fair. What kind of fair? What was it? What fair was it? Were there fried things on sticks? Was it one of those fairs? Or was it like a Renaissance fair? Or was it like a county fair? I need more details because I am a huge fan of fairs and I can live vicariously through yours. When I was little, my brain was like, macaroni equals food. Good stuff. Well, and I mean, you know, macaroni and cheese. The mac and cheese. How many of us did not have mac and cheese? I mean, except for those of you who are lactose intolerant, which fist bump, high five, and love if you're lactose intolerant. But macaroni and cheese with hot dogs cut up in it. Okay, that was a meal all by itself. We would have macaroni and cheese, and there would be hot dogs cut up in it. I need to introduce Steven to that. I feel like you would probably enjoy it. Oh. So I would eat the painted macaroni. It tasted good. Could have used some salt. Oh, you did a macaroni wreath? How do you do a macaroni wreath? I vaguely remember paper mache. Decoupage is the Romanian word for cutting paper in shapes and stuff. Well, then that's exactly what it is. You cut the stuff and let's see. Where is the... Hold on. Where's the Mod Podge? Let's see. Where is it? Okay. So, this was what you used. This was a water-based sealer glue finish thing. But this is the stuff that you dip the paper in, but you had to be really careful because if you got too much of the goop on it, it would tear. So, yes. Zataclad! Hello! Comes from the French word decoupage. Oh my goodness. Zataclad! It has been a hot minute. It has been a bit. How are you? What is up? What is happening? I hope you've been walking gently in the world, and the world is walking gently with you. What is up? Fill me in, Latino brother. What do you mean? Posted it in general. So the verb for decoupage is decoupa, Romanian. Ah. See, we are learning so much here. We are learning so very... Oh, my goodness. Oh, look at that. There's a Ferris wheel. Oh, that looks fun. And then that thing where you stand up against the back and it spins around and you're pressed back up against it. Oh, my God, it had one of those. Tell me it had a tilt-a-whirl. I mean, you cannot have a carnival like this and it doesn't have a tilt-a-whirl. Tilt-a-whirls are amazing. And if you learn how to swing correctly with it, it's a lot of fun. You can get that sucker spinning like nobody's business. Oh, and you're so cute together. You're so cute. Oh, I just love carnivals. Oh, fist bump high five if you love a good carnival. I mean, yes, some of them are very cringe. Some of them are, and you know, yeah, you go to the games, you're gonna lose. And you know, most of like the carny games, you know, or shall we say, the probability of winning is not huge, and it's still absolutely fun. Oh my gosh. I would have so much to say. So monopolize the chat like a robber baron. Call me the Rockefellerette. Oh, I like that. Beautiful. Damn, who are those cuties? Me and my girlfriend. Yep. You literally just use the really cheap paper plates, cut the center of it off, then glue the macaroni noodles onto the paper plate. Then the teacher spray paints it. We never did that. Now I'm intrigued. Okay, hold on. I've got to see if I can Google what is it? Macaroni. Okay, macaroni. What now? Macaroni wreath. What is it? Oh. Oh, okay. Okay. Actually, some of these are pretty cool. Oh my goodness, look at that. Okay. Now that's impressive. Oh, with the bow tie ones. Wow. Ah, oh my god, so cute. Okay, that is, okay, so they use a ring, but okay, this is probably like a pair. That is very cool. I don't know if we ever did those, but oh my gosh, and we are heading into the holidays, folks, so that means holiday crafting is starting now. Go out and hit your local craft store to get your craft stuff, because if you want to do any crafting for Christmas, I mean, they've got all the Halloween stuff out. If you want to do any Christmas crafting, you need to get the stuff now, because by November you're not going to be able to find anything in the craft stores. The Viking suit, the Viking vibe suits you. I approve the tale. Yes. Let's see. Is it bad that you never went to an amusement park? You have got something on your list of things to do. Going to an amusement park. And in some cases, the cheesier the better. Oh, the old days. Well, back when I was tiny, every year at the local high school they would do a fundraiser, and they would get one of the amusement park. There was like companies that they would basically take amusement parks around, or you know, carnival rides, and it was a fundraiser for the school. And so every year we would get to go over to the high school, and they'd have the parking lot cleared out, and and then you go over there during the week before and you watch them putting together all the rides and everything coming in. Okay, we didn't have a lot else to do in the late 60s, early 70s. So if there was a carnival in town, it was all about you get on your Schwinn bike and you pedal all the way over there, and you know, you have your buddy sitting either on the handlebars or on the seat behind you. And, you know, you go over and you'd sit and everybody tell you, get out of the way, get out of the way. So you go back behind the fence, but everybody's sitting and we're watching them put together, you know, the things, and hoping beyond hope that at some point they would look at us and say, hey, you kids, come over and help us test this. But no, it never happened. But it was always a very exciting time when the carnival was in town. Let's see. I played one of those huge water games where you shoot the target in the middle. Well, I may or may not have made kids cry because I beat them all. You got the massive teddy bear. Fist bump high five. Dang, autocorrect. Let's see. Tanks. Thanks. Tanks. My ADHD couldn't just not nibble on them. Oh, you started a job today. Also went back to university. Also started working on several nonprofit organizations while also having my kids for the summer. Whoa! That is a very packed summer. I'm like at 300% energy. Not to be the Debbie Downer, but I hope seasonal fall depression will not me as hard as it did before. Short answer. But what are y'all discussing about tonight? I saw paper mache, but I'm lost and confused. Oh, my dear, you know, we are all over the map. You know, we were talking about, well, We've Got This Wednesday, so it's a reminder that while everybody has things that they're dealing with, they don't have to deal with them alone. Because you got people, even if they cannot change the situation you're in, they can let you know that you got somebody who's got your back while you're going through it. And then we went into paper mache. So, but hey, here's knocking wood, crossing fingers, toes, and eyes that you will not have any issues with, do you have seasonal affective disorder? Which I always thought interesting because seasonal affective disorder spells sad. But, no, not being a downer at all. And I'm glad you bring it up because that's an important thing that is probably on the minds of a lot of people who, seasonally go into that hard place. And, it has to do, there's a lot of different things that could be the result of it. It could be sleep. It could be disrupted sleep cycles. The main reason is usually the fact that the people do not get to have full spectrum lighting. And one of the things that is helpful is to get a full spectrum light lamp. If once it starts to get darker more, once there's less sunlight, if you notice that you experience kind of an emotional and energy type of drain, consider getting a full spectrum light. And what that does is, if you sit with that a few times a day. And I had several patients back when I was practicing who dealt with this, and they said a full spectrum light that they could sit, near where they work, and all of that made a huge difference. So Zaraclet, please consider trying that out. Yeah, but I mean, it's like major exhaustion now. I have a boyfriend now! Celebrating Cat Mom's boyfriend! Yay! Congrats! That's how I pronounce it anyway. Ooh, 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 ooh. I don't even know what ooh means. I just think it looks cute. At the fair, there was one of those test your strength games, and I was doing it to impress my girlfriend. Sadly, I didn't break the high score, but she was impressed nonetheless. You know what? If you can swing a mallet, that's impressive. And the fact that, and I'm sure one of the things that impressed her was the fact that you stepped up, that you did it. You were secure enough in yourself not to get all bent out of shape, and competitive or whatever, that you were willing to go up, give it your best try, and take it like like an adult if you didn't get the high score. So good for you. I lived and still live in the countryside. Oh, that is like right up there with living on a mountain. When I was living in a cabin in the woods on a mountain for 10 years, there is something very, very nice and very gentle about living in that type of environment. So yes. I didn't just ask what are y'all talking about because I knew someone just answered yes. Yes. See? Pesky ADHD. Dirikins. P920, hey, thank you, Mama Doc. Oh, you are very welcome, my dear. And I'm so happy for you. And this is an awesome time of the year to have a new significant other, because you get to go into the holidays and have fun and walk around malls and listen to Christmas music and sit out and watch trees that are lit up and walk along streets that have all the houses decorated, and then go and have some nice hot chocolate or maybe a nice hot apple cider and eat roasted chestnuts together. And this is a fun time of the year to be a couple. And it's also a fun time of the year because each and every one of those things you can do by yourself. So either way, fist bump high five for everybody. Let's see. Hay is for horses. Ah, that is so cool. Oh my gosh. Warm. That sounds romantic movie shenanigans. Oh, well, you know, that's a thing. And, the guy after me broke the high score, and I just went up to the guy, shook his hand as a sign of respect, and I was like, you're the better man. GG. See, fist bump, high five, double high five. That is, if I were a girl and I saw my guy do that, I would be so impressed. I would be like, you know what? This is not somebody who's wrapped up in his own ego. This is somebody who is real. Oh, I would be so impressed by that. I wish we could just hug, sit down at a table, sip a good tea or coffee if you're crazy, and talk about all this. Thankfully, it's making this wish come true. Oh, in a way, cheers. Well, cheers to you too. And, and Zaraclet, who knows, one day, maybe you and I could sit down, hug, and have a sip of a good tea, because I love the teas. And, you're making my mouth water. Hot apple cider. Oh, who absolutely loves the fall drink of a wonderful hot apple cider that's got the cinnamon stick floating in it? Oh. I mean, if it weren't for the fact that it's with the AC on, it's still 87 degrees in here. With the AC off, it would be 90. So, yeah. But oh yeah, I only sip energy drinks. More energy! Add more ADHD to the ADHD. Unrelated, but where are you exactly? Asking for a friend. Well, my dear, I was in California. I am now in beautiful, amazing, historical, and lovely Staten Island, New York. And they may say Staten Island is the forgotten borough, but I can't see how, because it is absolutely awesome. It's very green. It's full of trees. It's a freaking island. And it is, oh my gosh, it is just so nice. I have walked all over the place. The buses, okay. New York public transit system, awesome. If you live somewhere that has an amazing public transit system, fist bump, high five. Oh my gosh, the public transit here is head, shoulders, knees, and toes above California. So it is crazy. But yes. California to Staten Island, and I drove across country by myself. Well, technically I wasn't by myself, because Arby, Yoda, and Gerald were sitting shotgun. I got some very interesting looks with a giant stuffed bear, a Yoda, and a Christmas cactus sitting shotgun in my car across country. Reminds me when I left southern France from northern France. I would say the same thing, but we can't talk about weather anymore. You can't talk about weather anymore. Oh, you could always talk about weather here. I mean, and seriously, I would love to visit France. Everybody who I know who has visited there said that they just wanted to move there. And that, it was just so nice, and the food is so good, and the people are so sweet. And I mean, when I think about, like, when I have visited other places, and I visited, other countries, and there will be houses or shops that are older than my entire country. I mean, honestly, hundreds of years older than my whole country. That house existed before my country existed as a country. Mind blown. And that's one of the things I really love, because here in Staten Island, it's like I'm staying at an Airbnb, and I mean, this building is well over 100 years old. And there's all these other places, and it's just like so cool. But I know, like, when I was in England, and there were places that were older than anything here that was established. boggles the mind. Apple cider is delicious. You got a tree orchard where you live. They make the best apple cider I've ever tasted. Even had, oh my God, baked apple cinnamon donuts. Oh. Apple fritters. I'm just telling you. When I was little, okay, you peel the apple, you core the apple, you slice it so it's like the little rings, you dip it into batter, and then you fry it, and then you sprinkle it with cinnamon sugar. That was our fall treat. That was like the favorite dessert in fall. But oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Man, I would love some apple cider. Maybe not hot apple cider, because that would be talking of transit, it happens that my parents kicked me out because they found out about my situation. I can literally ask someone to take me to Hungary and go live with my BF. You know what? Sometimes you never know what it is that inspires us to begin an amazing journey, to begin an adventure. For me, it was the idea of coming out here as to be an actress. But, whatever the reason to start an adventure, they're always pretty cool to start. I shouldn't talk about it, and neither should you, but I never stepped a toe in the U.S., so what do I know about Staten Island weather anyway? No, I mean, it's toasty. It is quite toasty. It is very toasty warm. And before we know it, the temperature is going to go down and the leaves will begin to turn that beautiful. I have been told that fall on the East Coast is head and shoulders above fall in California. I mean, and although fall on my mountain was amazing, that and most of the trees were redwoods, so we didn't have totally that same effect. But, being surrounded by trees and nature and the bushes and, everything just starting to kind of settle down, and the animals were kind of settling down. But I have been told that there's something very special about fall on the East Coast. And if you live someplace where it's like all the trees turn those beautiful orange and gold. Okay, pictures, fall pictures. I want to take pictures of the trees changing color, or a pile of leaves or something, and put it in the Discord. We're gonna have a fall celebration, because it is my favorite season. What's your situation? Hiding my sexuality, my gender, I have ADHD, BF. Yes. And now that you said that, I remember something. What? I can't concentrate. You know what, sweetie? There may be certain cases where the concentration is more challenged, but my dear, when you're posting here in the stream, when you're communicating, you are very clear, you're very eloquent, you say exactly what you mean to say. There isn't anybody who has any difficulty in getting what you're saying. So, my dear, you're doing amazing. You do have an ability to concentrate, and there are certain biophysical challenges to it, but here you do absolutely awesome. I mean, I wouldn't even know. For Labor Day, I told my mom if she went to Tim Hortons to get you an apple. Jay, you ruined apple fritters for me. I was doing fine, and now I'm thinking back to that moment, and don't put that picture in my head. My BF is so close to me, I can basically say our relationship isn't that far of a distance. Well, you know what? You do you, my dear. No one can truly. If you stop energy drink forever, you'll see it's all about how yourself reacts to everything. Chemicals, environment, people. Find your way, your place, where you don't need to hide anything, and then suddenly, boom! Without worries and hectic stuff going around, you'll be fine. Not cured, but in better shape. Source, trust me, bro. I found an actually decent horror movie last night. It's called The Gates. It's set in Jack the Ripper, London, but Jack isn't the evil one. Listen to Doc, or else. Serious though, how much would you have laughed if all of a sudden the apple fritter showed up? CJ, I've got a boomer brain. And sometimes things can just float to the back of the boomer brain. Why do you bring a moment of huge... Okay, there is a story around that. I don't know whether or not I want to tell it. But yes, it was one of my introductions to streaming and the way people say teasing things. And okay, shall we say that there was a conversation being had, and I came in at a point where I did not know the other stuff that had been said, so I said something. Everybody starts laughing hysterically because of the context that I was missing. Yeah, it's the hashtag worth it. I don't know how many points I will have to charge to tell that story. Hush, Jay. Time to rename the Boomer Doc. Yes, the Goomer Doc. No, Goomer. Gaming Boomer. We're making it a thing. What I also wanted to say is, could make me a member in Discord because my Discord has problems with my Gmail. It doesn't send me my verification email. Wait, okay, so is it that you can't get the email? Let's see. So if you're sad, are you a gloomy goomer? Yes, I would be a gloomy goomer. Goomer, gaming boomer. I don't care. I'm making it a thing. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. Let's see. So, have mercy, Daddy. You want to get into the Discord, but it has a problem with your email. Jay, can you see something about that? Because it does have something to do with a Gmail. Could you check into that, please, Jay? Thank you. Gloomer, I validate this. I have authority as a seasoned viewer. That's right. If you were funny, a goofy goomer? Oh, my favorite order is finally here. Gravy fries. Ooh, that's like poutine, except you're missing the cheese curds. If it's got cheese curds, verified emails only can join the Discord. Oh. So yeah. Can you create a different Gmail address? That would probably be the suggestion, is to create a Gmail address that you can use for that. Let's see. Goomfer. I could be a goomfer. Okay, we're starting to sound Austrian. Goomfa. I could be a goomfa. Goomfa. Oh my god, I like the way that sounds. Goomfa, 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 goomfa. Okay, I may put that on a t-shirt. My friend recommended me a new game called Metal Hellsinger, and I'm in love with it. It's like Doom meets Guitar Hero. You're slaying demons, and it blasts metal. I'd love to stream it, but it has copyrighted music, so that's a nope. See, that would absolutely suck. But, MSB, could you please put that in game recommendations? That sounds like something that people would love. Cheese steak, gravy fries, chocolate cake, and large soda. Cheese steaks, gravy fries, chocolate cake, and large soda. Cheesecakes, gravy fries, chocolate cake, and large soda. Die, Gumpfer! Jawol! Reads in German, or else you'll be confused. Jay, you've got Metal Hellsinger? Okay, is this a game I could possibly play, or does it move really fast like Call of Duty and Fortnite and all of that stuff? And I mean, it sounds amazing. And yes, that why would a game make or a game dev make a game knowing that their best advertisement is by people streaming the game, but they make it with copywritten music so you can't stream the game? It does move fast, but not multiplayer. Isn't it an older game? But it's why do they do that? You would think that every game dev now would go, okay, we have to make all of the music in this DMCA free because we want every streamer and their cousin streaming this, because the more people stream it, the more people buy it. But it's I don't get it. If I were a game dev, if I were somebody who's a game dev, I would make sure that everything in that game could be shared on multi-platforms. I just posted it in game suggestions. Thank you. Ooh, I bet it's got some great art to it too. Oh, let's see. Oh my gosh. That does have some very cool art. Oh wow. That is okay. So it's Xbox. Is it available in other? Oh my God! Is that the little eye thing right there? Oh, I bet the graphics are just amazing. Oh, it's oh, you can get it on PC. I think they picked the songs based on what's popular music wise. Yeah, and still, I mean, it's like, and especially when music is a big part of the experience, because I mean, yeah, you could stream it and and blank out the music, but what's the point of streaming a game where the main focus is music? And it'd be like Guitar Hero, and oh, can't stream Guitar Hero. Why they would do that, I don't know. I mean, it's like it's like Death Stranding. Amazing music. I love the music in that. That is like very ethereal. And can you imagine them not being able to play that with the background music? Ridiculous. And the music is part of the gameplay. Exactly. If an old boomer who has to wear a granny chain on her glasses, who most of the time is not totally sure where her cell phone is, can see that, y'all, somebody contact these companies. Let's see, who does it? Who's the game dev who created it? Singer of Low Roar in Death Stranding passed away a few years ago. Really? I mean, is it just me, or does it seem like every single day when I turn on my computer, and how it does like those, the headlines and stuff, that somebody else famous has passed away? It's like, and I mean in the music industry, it's like, what the heck? I mean, absolute blessings to everyone, and and some of them have been doing music for a very, 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 very long time, since I was young. But it's like, wow, there just seems to be a whole bunch that are kind of going out at once. So much love, and it's important to remember that just because you didn't know somebody personally, that doesn't mean you don't have a right to grieve. And yes, I mean, like Smash Mouth, Stephen Harwell. And it is when you have a connection with someone, and that connection may be strictly through what they put out, what it is, like when a singer and they sing stuff, and it's like, oh my gosh, it just moves you inside, and you have such a resonance with that person, and then they pass. It's like, no, you have a right to grieve that. That is something that affects you. It's like, when Prince passed away, when Jim Morrison passed, when Elvis passed, and you have somebody who touches so many lives through their art, and people feel like something's missing. And it's perfectly okay, never let anybody say, it's like, well, you didn't know them personally, why are you so upset? It's like, but in a way you did. Now, there's the whole thing now with the parasocial relationships and all of that, and it's still important when somebody creates something that holds meaning for you. I mean, when I was growing up, there were songs and musicians that, I felt totally connected to. J.R.R. Tolkien. I was 10 when I read the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Rings, Two Towers, Return of the King, the Silmarillion, the Hobbit. I didn't even read the Hobbit first. I read the Hobbit after that. And that was during my 10th year. And I had determined that I was going to go to England one day, and I was going to shake J.R.R. Tolkien's hand, and I was going to tell him how much his books meant to me, because it's like reading The Lord of the Rings was, it was like I couldn't turn the pages fast enough to where I was just absorbing everything that was written, and it related to me, and Frodo's struggles and Sam's determination, and Aragorn, the weight that Aragorn had on him, and all of that stuff, and it just spoke to me so deeply. I was 11 when J.R.R. Tolkien passed, and I was devastated. My little 11-year-old heart was broken. I cried. And, my parents couldn't quite understand why I was that emotional. But it's like, no, because this was somebody whose writing spoke to me. He made me want to be a writer. And just to know that I would never be able to say that to him, at least not in this life. So yeah, it was only 56. Yep. Sir Christopher Lee was goated. I'm not sure. If we lose Ozzy Osbourne, okay, that's a when. It's not an if, it's a when. We lose Ozzy Osbourne, the entire rock metal community will be grieving like there was no tomorrow. And when you go back to when, it's like, the Grateful Dead, Jerry Garcia, when Jerry Garcia passed, when John Lennon passed, the song American Pie, when, the day the music died. And if you listen to the words of that song, or read through the words to that song, it was about three very, famous musicians who died in a plane accident, and it was literally called The Day the Music Died. And when John Lennon passed, everybody talked about where they were when they heard the news. And when Elvis passed. So, yes, Ozzy Osbourne will be another one. But with Jerry Garcia, oh my God, it was like all the Grateful Dead fans, when Jimi Hendrix, so Ozzy Osbourne will be in very, very good company. And, for those who reached that epic level of music and recognition, and became like icons. And when he passes, he will be able to look back on an absolutely amazing life and say, you know what, not so bad. Still here, just painting purple in the rose. Purple rose. Very cool. Like lavender purple or more lilac purple? Is it more of a bluish purple, or is it more of a reddish purple? Inquiring minds want to know. Just like when Neil Peart passed, yep. Goat means greatest of all time. Ah, yes. Chester Bennington of Linkin Park, yeah. Kurt Cobain. It's like you get people who seem to come out of nowhere, and and back in my day when it was very much about, the music, because we didn't have the internet, we didn't have the interwebs, it was about you go out and you buy an album, and, you do stuff. Back when AC/DC, Von Scott, some of you probably might be a little bit young that you don't remember Von Scott. And that was like huge. That was huge. And I think for different people, it's like, someone might say, it's like, well, what's the big deal with Jimi Hendrix? But when Elvis passed, it was like they were devastated. So the idea that whether or not we resonated with that particular individual, we all have people who are in that category that man, I would just love to meet this person. I would just love to be able to tell them what they meant to me. I think everybody has that. Maybe they're in all different genres, maybe they're in all different fields. I mean, when Stephen Hawking passed, anyone and everyone who was ever involved in, in science was like, oh my gosh, we've lost something very important. When Mr. Rogers passed, and we're not talking about like passing as a bad thing, because it is inevitable. It is a certainty in life. And we can, think about people and go, yes, there is sadness that they're gone, but we can also celebrate that they were here. That they were here and they left an amazing impact on humanity that inspires others to get to that level. So, it is. I still regret that I never got to meet Stan Lee in person. I wanted to ask him this question. If you were to see all of these people making their own creations and use you as an inspiration, how would you feel? I'm willing to bet he would be honored. Abso-freaking-lutely. Stan Lee was someone who, always seemed to not take himself. I mean, he was a consummate professional. Absolutely. But there was always that he never took the fame seriously, because his focus was the art. And his passion was the art when nobody knew who Stan Lee was. And, there's a saying, don't try to be like the people you admire. Try to be like the people they admire. And I always thought that was wonderful advice. Speaking of passing, I have some grave news. My grand passed. Oh, Cyber King! And I will be unavailable this Saturday we're doing a celebration of life. Oh, sweetheart. First off, I am so sorry for your loss. And hey, let's give some support for Cyber King on his recent loss of his grand. And, much love. And Cyber King, who's one of my moderator supremes, who is absolutely amazing, absolutely awesome. My Poutine Ghost Tour and Tim Hortons connection in Canada. And let's show some support for Cyber King on this loss. And I mean, absolutely, you take your time, my dear. And I am so sorry. My condolences and absolute best wishes for you and your entire family. Brady Knowles of Sublime. I love AC/DC and heard the Rolling Stones making new music now. Really? I have not heard about it. Yep, Steve Irwin. I met Stan Lee at an airport. Nice. Don't tear up for me, Doc, please. You know what? I'm old. I get to. And I won't, at your request. And as someone, once you get up to a certain age, there's a lot of loss that you deal with. The older you get, the more you experience. And, I'm just really sorry for that loss. And I'm sure that she was an amazing woman whose heart was big as all of Canada. And I wish you all well. And yeah, we're sorry to hear that. So, we all know what grief feels like, yeah. And the thing is that everybody's is unique. Because no matter how much experience I have with grief and loss, I will never know what it meant to lose Cyber King's grandmother. I will never know what it meant to lose, for each person who loses somebody special to them. No one will ever understand what it means to lose that person. You may have a similar type of grief, but no, not everybody knows what grief feels like, because not everybody defines it. You have to figure out what is the definition. But, and people grieve in a lot of different ways. Sometimes people grieve in a way that even they don't recognize. So I would say everybody experiences it, but no two people experience it the same. That's why I make a point to visit family when I can. You know what? That's a good thing to do. And being able to have that time and have that connection, and not everybody can. And, some people have very tricky relationships with family. Sometimes it can be a little bit difficult interacting. And, and there's a lot of different reasons for that, and that's a whole bag of badgers. And at the same time, that, for everybody to do what they're doing, and that whatever they're doing is good enough. For someone who maybe can't reach out that often, whatever they do is good enough. And I have known people who literally lived with someone, and then when that person passed, they still felt that same level of grief. So it really is. It's and it's I gotta go, Doc, get dinner. I must be, Richard. You go. You have an amazing dinner. Something fried on a stick, or that's a carnival thing, but you go have a lovely dinner. And if you're going to be streaming later, please let us know. Post it up in the Discord. And yes, plug your ears, Jay. Anybody, if you have a stream, especially if you have a stream coming up, please talk about it in the chat. We want to know what you stream, when you stream, why you stream, how you stream. Are you streaming on Twitch? Are you streaming on Kick? Are you streaming on Facebook Live? Are you working on a goal? Are you working on follower? Are you working on partner? Hashtag Pat the Partner. This old lady. Are you working on building something that will allow you the opportunity to grow as an individual, to reach out and connect with all of the planet, and at the same time build up a huge and massive total level of abundance that would be the envy of all who see it? Hashtag this old lady. Let's see. I guess I'm old school. How I feel about my family. Well, sweetie, you are not more old school than I am. I was the school. It's like we didn't call it old school. That was our school. And and the thing is actually old school wasn't that connected. The truth is that it was a different viewpoint. It was very much a different viewpoint. And having lived the 60s, 70s, having been raised by people who grew up in the 1930s, I will tell you that sometimes people don't have a totally clear view of what life really was back then. They believe they know, and maybe they've talked to a few folks who kind of believe that they know, and yeah, but you kind of had to be there to really know what the old school way was. And there was a lot different there. I'm the same, only with the size it can be hard to see or talk to everyone. Yeah. But, yep. Don't think so old school so well, because it was different. And I'm working on to 10 followers. 10 followers on your Twitch stream, I think. I know, I guess. Hold on. Cyber King, can you do a shout out for our wonderful Padre, aka Sergeant Electra? My family is huge. That's why I use the cell phone. See, because that's the thing. We didn't have cell phones. You had a princess phone on the wall that a busy signal you didn't get through to. We wrote letters. If you really wanted to go old school, it's like, okay, so every week you write a letter to a family member, and everybody sent out Christmas cards. You know, you wrote out your Christmas cards, you wrote out your birthday cards, you wrote out your Easter cards, you wrote out your all of that. So technically, if you want to say old school, that was old school. You wrote cards and letters to everybody in your family. So, yay! Go check it out. I think I'm already following you. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yay! Are you going to be streaming again soon? Sometime? Let us know. Inquiring minds want to know. So, yep. And, you know, the fact that you're rebuilding and, you know, you're doing this new, the role-playing thing, I think that's totally cool. I mean, I love watching that because, you know, like the games where people are doing role-playing and all of that. I also have an appreciation for the old 50s and 60s era cars. They were built to last. Well, with certain exceptions. Studebaker. And then there was, you know, the Pinto, the Pacer. Not all of them were built to last. The Edsel. Thank you, Doc. And yes, may stream soon. Well, please, please, please make sure that you are, you're putting over in the Discord that you're streaming. Why can't I use Prime? I don't know. What do you mean you can't use Prime? What is... Oh, God, the Pinto and the car accidents. Yes! See, that's where when you talk about cars built to last in the old days, not so much. Not all of them were. I don't know. Why? Is there something with your Prime account? Because, yeah, with a Prime account, you should be able to get a sub through that. And, you know, it is... We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But, and thank you for the thought. That's so sweet of you. So, my dears, and I also want to give a great big wave and say hi to all those hanging out in the Loving Lurkers Lounge. The Loving Lurkers Lounge. Refreshments are in the corner, and feel free to put your feet on the furniture. So, it is important to remember that, you know, whatever it is that you are going through, whatever it is, because there's a lot of people going through a lot of different things. And it's not about comparison shopping. It's not about deciding that, well, I can't talk about my grief because this person seems worse. Or, you know, why are they talking about their grief when mine is so much worse than theirs? You know, it's not about comparison shopping. It's not about, because frankly, it's all about apples and oranges anyway. Everybody's experience is unique. Everybody's struggles are unique. And just because somebody is struggling with something that isn't a struggle for someone else doesn't mean that first person's struggle isn't legitimate. And I mean, I've seen this happen where, you know, somebody will be having a difficult time with something and someone else is like, oh my God, that's so easy. That's what you're stressing over. I mean, have you ever had that in a game where, you know, somebody, which is why gamers don't like it when people backseat. You know, somebody will be going through, like, you know, if you're playing a game and you're trying to get through this one spot, and I mean, and you gotta do the little trial and error thing. And then you've got somebody saying, it's like, oh my God, that is so easy. How could you possibly not be getting that? It's like, really? Really? That's not helping. And, you know, it is it's like trying to, you know, to judge someone else's learning curve. It's like, you know what? You didn't always have this. There's almost nothing that came easy to anyone the first time. And if it is, you know, it's like, yay, I'm happy for you, but it's unlikely. If somebody says, oh yeah, I got it, like, right off the bat, I call shenanigans on that. Because any time we do something new, our brain has to create a whole new pathway to manage it, to figure it out. Nobody has ever done anything perfect on the first try. That I know of. And in fact, a lot of times it does take that, that curve to be able to figure it out, because see, that's how we learn. We learn by finding every possible way we could get it wrong, and once we do, we've got it right. The very next thing we do is right. But the value of it is through that learning curve. And as I say, the two things I know about success: first, it's just a matter of outlasting the learning curve, and second, the only time it comes before work is in the dictionary. So when you are able to have people in your life who don't go into that comparison piece, who don't make it about themselves, who can just say, you know what, you've almost got it. That was a really good try. That was, keep at it. You can do this. You can do this. Because I know that's something I heard when I started streaming. Come on, stick with it. You can do this. And part of the time we do have to get past our own ego. And that is where I value the friends who are there for me, who know me well enough to say, hey, come on, calm down. You've got this. You can do this. Just you can get this going. Don't give up. What's the matter with you? What, you thought you were going to get it perfect on the first try? Those are the real friends, see? Those are the real friends, the ones who will never say anything about themselves in comparison to what you're doing. They will never say, well, I got it the first time, or I did it really easy. If they do bring up themselves, they go, you know what? I had a hard time with that too. Now that is a friend. That is an evolved spirit. That is a sign of maturity. When somebody doesn't have to make it about themselves and can just be there and support and say, you know what, I had a hard time with it too. I messed that up too. But you've got this. Just stick with it. You can do this. And, when we have people around us who can let us know, hey, you can do this, when that's not what we're hearing in our own heads. That's why I say it a lot. You can do this. You've got this. You're not alone. I'm proud of you. Keep going. Your best is good enough. These are the types of things that I think people need to hear more of. Pindobesia. They say you can't compare apples and oranges, but I'm like, are you sure? Well, try to compare an apple as it rates against an orange. So you have one type of fruit and a totally different type of fruit that you're trying to compare two things that are not comparable. Other than the fact that they are both edible, it's like, well, but the skin of the apple is much tastier than the skin of an orange. It's like, yeah, but you're not supposed to eat that. I mean, technically you can, but that's not what you do. So the idea of apples and oranges is just basically demonstrates the futility of trying to compare things that do not have a direct correlation to each other. Have you ever heard of Rain World? Would play with me in the near future. I have never ever heard of Rain World. What is that? What is, I am interested, I am intrigued. Please put it in the game, or no, you can't put it in the game. Tell you what, send me a message. You can message me with a link, I think. Or let's see, what is it called? Hold on. Let me see, I will Google it. It's a game Rain World. Okay. Let me see if I can find this. Boop, 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 boop. Rain World on Steam. Vast world of over 1,600 rooms spanning 12 diverse regions with ancient secrets. Ooh, we do like it as secrets. Hold on. Oh my god, I immediately love the graphics. Oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I immediately love the graphics. Okay, it very much reminds me of, I wonder who did it, because there was another game, Ori and the Blind Forest. This reminds me a lot of that. And then there was another one. It was like an underwater one. There was Ori and the Blind Forest, and then there was another one that was like you were underwater and you were doing stuff, but it had like, it looks like it had the exact same game mechanics. You know what? We can definitely put this in. We will put this into game recommendations. I will put from Have Mercy from the stream. Okay, I have got that down. Rain World. You are a slug cat. Okay. The world around you is full of danger and you must face it alone, separate from your family in a devastating flood. You'll need to find food and shelter between terrifying torrential downpours which threaten to drown all life. Ooh, that does look good. Developed by the folks from Adult Swim. Nice. Very expensive, but worth it. Yeah, well, they've got it on Steam at $24.99. I see restoration cars from the junkyards to a collector as an art. Well, yeah, I mean, car restoration. And the thing is, with car restoration, it is... You know, my son, my oldest son, he's in his, like, you know, heading into his late 30s. And he has dealt with a lot of people who do that sort of thing and all of that. And I mean, quite honestly, it is, you need to have another source of income, because in most cases, even if they sell it or auction it, you would never get the money back that you put into restoring a car, which is, you know, interesting. It's very interesting that, you know, when people who restore cars professionally, it's just, they're doing it for the love of it, because what they can never sell it for enough to make up for the money that they spent on it. Which, I mean, I think that's cool, because you're doing it for the love of it. And a lot can be said for doing something for the love of it, because there's a lot of people who will tell you that, you know, it's like, well, if it's not making you money, why are you doing it? And, you know, and there's more ways to measure success. It's like, you know, I'm working on building this stream to be something that I can be, you know, self-sufficient from, that I can be able to have as my main source of income. Now, whether that's streaming here on Twitch, streaming on Kick, you know, whatever else I do, you know, posting the videos on YouTube, maybe I grow it there. But at the same time, it is about doing this, you know, the old saying, figure out what you would do for free and then figure out a way to get paid for it. And that is the single best job advice that I was ever given, ever, was to figure out what I would do for free and then figure out a way to get paid for it. And sometimes that's a hard thing to figure out on our own. And when we have, you know, people who can, you know, sort of help us brainstorm it, you know, that makes the difference. And that's the cool part about having community, having people you can go to. And, you know, some of us do upgrades and trade. You get a cheap car and then upgrade, trade to something worth 6 figures. Yeah, I mean, in the experience of those who I've dealt with, and I mean, I've got people who have been doing this sort of thing for 40, 50 years, and they just say, it's like, you know, first off, it is always more expensive than what you think it's going to be. Always. There was this one guy, and he's got a YouTube channel, fairly well known, And, he got this one car that he thought, yeah, I can do this, I can do that. It ended up costing him so much. It turned out once he actually started getting into it, it's like, oh, this is wrong. Oh, this is a problem. Oh, this is a problem. So, and if you trade up for something worth six figures, it is basically you're probably spending six figures, especially if you are upgrading a car that's like a classic, which means you've got to find parts that may not even be manufactured anymore. So it is a thing. And usually people, it's like people who have a lot of those cars and stuff, and I know several of them, they all have another thing they do. Either they're mechanics, or they've got some other thing that they do, and this is just something they do for the love of it, because it's like, what, make money on this? Oh no, nope, you're not gonna make money off of this. And there's nothing wrong with doing something for the love of it, and especially when you can find other people who do the same thing for the love of it, other people who do stuff, and that, and the thing is like, what I really love is when people are absolutely real. When it's like, you can tell when streamers, there's some streamers, and and who have a persona, not necessarily like the VTubers, but there's a lot of streamers who maybe their persona is a lot more high energy. Maybe it's like they're more confrontational on the stream, but then when you get them in real life, they're actually very chill and they're very low key. And I know that there's a lot of people who the way they present themselves online has very little to do with who they really are. And but that's not a bad thing. I mean, the World Wide Webiverse is all about people being able to just kind of be who they want to be because nobody sees them. And now, that being said, I'm posting up my videos on my YouTube page. You can go to my YouTube page. You can see years back of videos, and I'm pretty much the same. I mean, I've got a nose ring now, but I'm pretty much the same as I always was. So but it is about being able to find that group that you can really be yourself with, and I hope that this is a place where people can feel that they can come in and just be themselves, because whoever they are is good enough. It really doesn't faze me, when people, like come in and, they're talking about stuff, and, and it's like, yeah, okay. And, that's cool with me. I don't have a problem with that. And, I think, though, that everybody needs to be able to have those people they can be real with. That it's okay, that they, as they are enough. And when I went to TwitchCon, I had an opportunity to talk to a bunch of folks, and, who were kind of in that sort of weird thing where it's like, I sort of lose who I am in the persona sometimes. Sometimes it's really hard to get me back. And while having a persona separates you and allows you to kind of, have a gap, because if people are criticizing, they're criticizing the persona. And at the same time, it's like, but if they're praising the persona, they're not praising me. And so it really was kind of funny that I ended up getting into conversations with these, streamers who had way bigger streams than me. But, and hearing how consistently that was a hard thing. It was like, once you reach a certain level, people only want to get to know you because of the level you're at. And, and I would imagine that that's a very hard thing. And I guess being a little old lady who, it's like, what, I suck at most of the games, so but they did feel safe enough to, to talk to me and feel that they could be real with me, and I was very honored by that. It's folks of Gotham Garage in California can actually fabricate their own parts. That is something, especially with like 3D printing. It's now, you can do that, although you still cannot fully, if you have like an absolute classic car, you can fabricate certain things, but there's stuff that, no, they will not allow you to fabricate. You have just got to find the original. And, that's one of the toughest parts. But yeah, there's several garages in California. And California is very big on that sort of thing. Mr. Radio! We've got our Mr. Radio. Mr. Radio. Whoa, whoa, radio. Yay! If y'all didn't know, Doc is uploading her VODs on our YouTube channel. Yes! And I am subbed to your YouTube channel too, Mr. Radio. Streaming now while watching. Oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Yay! California is also big on the lowrider scene. Yes, mostly because of like a lot of population. There are some other cities that, like the type of car, but yeah, and that particular scene is not as big as it used to be. Back in the 1970s, oh my gosh, the mid to late 70s, that was like, really the big lowrider era. It is not as big. I mean, there's still a very dedicated community to it, but it's definitely not as big as it was back in the day. Oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Back in the 1970s, and they actually had to pass laws in certain areas that you were not allowed to drive below a certain speed limit. It was like they actually had a range and you couldn't drive below it, and they had signs, no cruising zone, because back then it was like, oh man, Friday, Saturday night, you go out, and there was this one street called the El Camino, and it went through like five cities, and it was this big long street, but it was the El Camino, and Friday, Saturday nights, all of the lowriders would get out, and they'd be going like 10, 15 miles an hour, like a big parade, and, doing the hydraulics. Oh, that was an era. The 90s saw a resurgence. It did, but it wasn't, it's sort of like them trying to redo Woodstock. It was a moment in time, and when they tried to redo Woodstock, it definitely did not become what it had been, because you can't capture that again. And that's one of the big things, is that accepting that a moment is a moment, a time is a time, and to appreciate it, because you can't get it back. I've known people who have been married multiple times, and I know what I felt the day I married. And even though that marriage, after 20 years, that marriage ended, I don't know if I'm ever going to, I haven't dated in like 15 years, and I don't know if I'll ever marry again. It's not because, I'm too hurt or I don't want to. It's just right now, the way my life is, I don't think it would be fair to bring someone into my life like that, because there's all these other things I want to do, and I don't want anybody to feel like they're second best. And live your life, Doc. Thank you. So the thing is, though, is that I've known people who've been married multiple times, and yet each wedding was different. The feeling behind it was different. And, so that idea that, and that's not a bad thing, because it allows us to remember and capture a moment in our hearts, in our minds, the first time that you streamed, the first time that you beat a particular game, the first time, you were invited, to play with somebody. And, it's like having that moment. To me, I appreciate the moments. When I had my first son and they put him in my arms for the first time, and that was an amazing moment that I never thought I could feel anything else like that. And then with my second son, and he was put in my arms. And while it was still an amazing experience, again, it was not comparable to the first experience because each one was unique, because it was a unique being in my life. Oh, girl, who you telling? Fall wedding season is upon us at my job. Each wedding is different. Oh, I'm telling you. And people, I have infinite respect for people who do things like wedding planning or manage wedding venues, because the bridezillas are real, the groomzillas are real, the mother-in-lawzillas are real. Oh my God, it is the patience that is required. I mean, I watch shows like Say Yes to the Dress. It's like this show about, they're trying, a bride is trying to find the perfect wedding dress, and it's like this special shop and these special people, and, they tried to get a bride to be able to pick a dress. And some of these folks who come in, I mean, with the bride, and it's like, do you even like this person? And they'll say the meanest things. Like, oh my God, that makes you look like this, or that makes you look fat, or that makes you look this. And it's like, first off, y'all don't need to be that mean. Second, if I was the bride, I would probably turn around and go, and you can leave now. Yeah, I mean, there were brides who were crying over the stuff that these supposed friends and family were saying. And if I was the one who was, like helping the bride find that dress, I would be calling these people all kinds of names. The patience that they show, it's like, well, you know what? Let's just look at another one and all of that. And it's like, I would be 18 shades of pissed. So anybody who deals with that and it's like, all right, I'm scared of wedding planners. Did a wedding 2 weeks ago, and there were 3 planners for one wedding. Oh my gosh. I mean, that is, and you're like, I'm guessing you're doing the music and stuff, so it's like, well, was live, restart to, when all else fails, restart it. It's like, I saw a meme, and it said, well, when my time has come and there's no hope, I want you to unplug me, ... Then plug me back in and see if I restart. Oh my goodness gracious, yes. My mother-in-law is still trying to get me to gain weight. Family be family. I was just there to set up, lights, curtains, and audio. And everything has to be perfect. It is, and some folks, they just lose it. And although I have seen wedding people who were spot on. Oh my gosh, I went to a wedding, I kid you not. The bride and the groom, they were eating the wedding cake. Now, they had both been drinking significantly up until this point. I was kind of surprised they made it through the ceremony. So they're at the point where they're doing the cake. And, she's like, and you have to take pictures, and she's got like, the cake and, is feeding it to him. He scoops up this whole thing of cake, and then she sees him, she scoops up, they let each other have it right in the face. She trips on her dress, falls, hits the table, the cake goes down, and the cake's got strawberry filling on a cream colored carpet. She's got it all down her. All I could think was, oh my God, why can we not get a video of this? Because this was even before cell phones. We didn't have cell phones at this point. But I mean, it would have been trending. It would have gone viral. So, but we still had pictures to take. And I was the maid of honor. So I walk in, I grab each of them by, like, you know, an arm. I look at the best man. I said, I don't care what you have to do. You take him in the bathroom and you get him cleaned up. I will not, there is no option for failure in this. And he looked at me like, okay. And we pick up the bride, and she has got stuff on her. And I look at the photographer and I said, we're going to do this. And she looked with that. She said, I've got you. I've got you. We go into the bathroom. This photographer starts pulling out curling irons and all this stuff and seltzer water. And she's going at the dress to get the stains out. We got both of them cleaned up. They were able to take the rest of their pictures. Granted, they were charged an obscene amount of money for the cleaning bill that happened afterwards. They both got yelled at by their respective parents. But that was the single most professional photographer, because, I mean, she didn't even flinch. When I said, we're going to make this happen, she goes, I got you. We go back in there. She pulls out this, you know, Hermione's bag of a case, and she's got stuff coming out. I was like, okay, you do this, you get the makeup, you do this, take off the old, put on the new, you know, give me this part of the dress. Okay, I got it. She goes, I know what angle to take the picture of the dress. I can hide what we can't get out. But it was just crazy. You know, and yeah, you know, and see, that's the thing where, you know, you have to reach that point, Mountain, where if somebody is toxic, it's okay to tell them. It is absolutely okay to look at somebody and say, you know what, we need to talk, because this is not going to continue. Much respect to you. You know, I mean, when I had a mother-in-law, I was like, you know, and she, after my father-in-law passed away, she asked us to move in and live with her because she couldn't live by herself. So it was like, okay. And I sat down with her and I said, all right, I love you and I respect you. And if there is anything that is an issue between us, I want you to bring it to me. If I have any issue with you, I will come and I will tell you we need to talk. And that will be my way of saying, okay, there's something going on that we need to get cleared up. And I assured her that I would be respectful. I would never raise my voice to her. But if something was going on that I wasn't okay with, I would let her know, and I would expect that she would act on that. So the thing is that if somebody is saying stuff that cuts, tell them. If they're toxic, tell them. And don't tell me, oh, well, it's my mother-in-law, you can't. Bull. You can tell anybody anything, because if you don't, you sign on for them to treat you. People treat us the way that we let them know is okay. And there's something called tacit approval, which means if you don't say no, the assumption is that you're saying yes. So being able to, you know, say, all right, you know, because I got along great with my mother-in-law. We had an awesome relationship. And it was because if something did come up that I wasn't okay with, I went to her. I didn't go to my husband. I went to her and said, well, we need to talk. And if my husband got mad at her, it was like, you cannot raise your voice to your mother. Well, I said, I don't care. Our sons are watching how you treat her, because that's their example on how they'll treat me. So I don't want to have a fight with them later because you demonstrated that it was okay to yell at your mom. And she appreciated that. And if we had a problem, I took it straight to her. And so there are ways to manage stuff, but if somebody's just going to be flat out toxic, it's like, let them know. And that is where your spouse should be coming in and saying, hey, I got your back. I will not, you know, it's like, yep. Or if like a family member says something, if a family member were to say something to my spouse or about my spouse or make a snarky comment, I was the one who's like, excuse me, can we talk for a minute? And I would take him aside and I'll say, let me make it clear to you, this is my husband. I will not tolerate anything that is hurtful to him. You got an issue with him, you can go talk to him and be respectful. But you come at him, you deal with me. Are we clear? And it was amazing. It didn't get repeated. It didn't happen more than once. And I made it clear that it's like, look, this person here is my first priority. I will walk away from you. So that idea that it's like I never had to deal with it more than one time, because they could see it was like, no, this doesn't happen again. And if it does, it'll be the last time you see me for a very long time. So, and that's that part of, being of the, we've got this. Relationships definitely are about we've got this. And, and yeah, sometimes it means you drop the hammer. And yeah, sometimes it means you drop the hammer with one of your parents, which is a whole role reversal thing, which can be very, very uncomfortable. And the idea that everybody has the right, who's in a relationship, has the right to know that their partner has their back, and it's not just, oh, well, that was a terrible thing to say or whatever, and it's like, no. When I would tell somebody, I had a family member who got a little bit snarky about my husband at one point, and it's like, I get it, I hear you, and if you say this in front of people to embarrass my husband again, I will act. And it will be the last time you see me for a long time, and everybody here is going to know all the stuff that is behind that, okay? I was the one that everybody told their secrets to, so it was easier for me. It's like, oh, do we want to start telling stories? Do we really? And they're like, nope. And I'm like, so we understand each other. And you don't have to do it publicly, but I would very much like it if you would take my husband aside and apologize to him. And he had no idea how often I would make sure that it's like, and no. And he goes, wow, so-and-so came over and apologized to me. I thought that was very cool. I said, really? Oh, that was really good. Well, I'm glad. I'm very glad. And, and the thing is that, whether it's friends, whether it's family, whether it's romantic partners, whether it's a coworker, you have those coworkers who, make sure that they've got your back, and, and also that they tell you when you're messing up, because that is an important thing, because if there was an issue with my husband, and I, it's like, while we were out, it's like, no, he's fine. He's doing great. Don't talk to him. And then after, when the boys weren't around, when no one was out, it's like, excuse me, what is wrong with you? See, but there was nobody else around. It'd be like, what is wrong with you? Okay, here's a list of the reasons why that was not an okay thing. And, so the idea that it is the people who care about us most who are willing to tell us what we want to hear the least. They do not let us pretend. They do not let us delude ourselves. They don't let us lie to ourselves. They listen, they support, and they tell us their truth. And I think that that is probably one of the most valuable things about a friend, about somebody who is really there to back you up. Someone who's going to be honest with you even when they know the last thing you want is honesty. And that is, while it's a good thing to seek out, sometimes it's kind of a tricky thing to be that person. In all my years, I've had a lot of cases where I have literally had to tell somebody something that I knew they didn't want to hear, and I knew they were going to be mad at me for them hearing it. And I knew that it would be hurtful to them down the line if they didn't have that information, because it's like, all right, I'm going to tell you my perspective, and you can do what you want. You can do absolutely what you want. I am not saying that you have to do anything in any particular way. And I'm just letting you know what I see as the issues with this and where I believe this is going. And once I share that, it's like, okay, if it goes badly, it was that person's choice. And they had that free choice. You know, you don't tell somebody that they need to do something a particular way, or they need to stop doing something in a particular way. And even if it's very well meaning, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, you know, you need to hydrate more. I hydrate a lot. You know, or when I was getting ready for the move, I mean, I was working multiple jobs trying to get the money together to be able to make the move out here and get everything ready, and people were like, well, you need to rest. And it's like, I'll rest when I'm done. Well, no, you need to do this, and you need to rest, and you need to, you know, it's like, I can't rest. I've got to work to make the money so I can move. And I can, you know, I'll have to manage it that way. And they were kind of pushy with me, and I don't deal well with that. So, you know, there were a couple of people who I like, oh, time out. Have you met me? Because first off, if you've ever met me, you know that the approach that you're taking with me will do nothing but piss me off. And if I get pissed off, I will probably not do whatever it is you want me to do. That's not the way to talk to me. And they go, oh, okay. Mallory, danger, duck, Mallory, how are you, my dear? What is up? What is happening? What are you up to? Inquiring minds want to know. What? Oh, it's such a delight to see you again. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? On this lovely, tremendously warm night, day, afternoon, not much. How are you? Oh, I am. It's Mallory's birthday. It's Mallory's birthday. Mallory. Let's see. Mallory. No. Okay, Jay, he's laughing, or she's doing the laughing face, which kind of reminds me of Jay, that little laughing face. No. Does that mean it's not your birthday? Or is it your birthday? Inquiring minds want to know. The doc needs the truth. Is it or is it not Mallory's birthday? No, it is. Got you. Happy birthday, we love you. Happy birthday, and may all your dreams come true. When you blow out the candles, one light stays aglow. It's the love light in your heart where'er you go. And this is your birthday song. It isn't very long. Yay, Mallory! Oh, what are we doing for the birthday? Is it going to be an entire week celebration? Is it going to be a weekend celebration? Is it going out to something wonderful and munchy? Is it going to a carnival? Is it going to a museum? Is it going to a rock concert? Inquiring minds want to know. Oh, any chat is any tells chat. Well, exactly though. Oh my God, birthdays are something definitely to be celebrated. Chat, tell Mallory happy birthday. And And no, seriously, what is going on? What are you doing? What is up? What's the haps? My mom is taking me to dinner, but that's it. But that's a wonderful thing. Oh my God, dinner out, birthday dinner out. Are the staff gonna sing happy birthday to you? Ooh, what kind of dinner is it? Ah, that is so cool. Oh, birthmas, yep. Or Happy New Year. And oh, wishing your mother a happy Labor Day. Texas Roadhouse. Oh, that's good. Oh my gosh, Texas Roadhouse has amazing food. I went to a Texas Roadhouse in Texas. It was amazing. Oh my God, the steak, you could almost cut it with a fork. I'm a sucker for their rolls. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Texas toast. Yep. And then what is it? Didn't they have like a was Texas Roadhouse? I'm trying to remember if they were the one with this amazing lava cake. Okay, hold on. Texas Roadhouse menu. All right. Okay, the cactus blossom. They've got fried pickles. I love the fried pickles. Let's see. Okay, where is the dessert? The dessert menu. Because I could have sworn that they had a lava cake. What is the dessert menu? Hold on. Oh, they had the brownie with the ice cream on it. Yes. Oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Let's see. Slice of towering cake with ice cream. Okay. We have got... Okay. First off, Texas Roadhouse, don't say you have New York style cheesecake unless it's real. Apple tart, amazing. The chocolate slide, the towering cake, frozen turtle, apple, the big old, maybe it was the big old brownie I remember. Oh my God, these are so good looking. Yeah, I think it was the big old brownie that I had. Anyway, it was amazing! Oh my gosh. Peanut butter pie. Oh. See, whatever you have, save room for dessert. Oh Lord, all of those look good, don't they? I mean, butterscotch pudding. Oh, see? See, and now Mallory, you've got that, keep your eye on the prize. Whatever you order for dinner, make sure you save enough space for dessert. Candy always gets me. Yes. Pistachio caramel crunch. Crunchy chocolate cookie bowl filled with salted caramel ice cream topped with pistachios and a caramel drizzle. But I had the brownie with the ice cream. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Apple crumble is so good. It is. It is absolutely, oh my God, food stuff, birthday food stuff, splurge. It's always so fun, and going out with family and celebrating. I mean, and especially with your mom, because, first off, she was there. And I can guarantee you that she is reliving a moment. My oldest son, he just had his birthday. And it was like, it seemed like only 5 minutes ago they were handing him to me saying it's a boy. And when you think about, when your kids grow up and, and you see them stepping out into the world, and, it wasn't that I didn't trust them, I didn't trust the world with them. And my mom always said, she goes, look, they grow and they go. And, you know, she was a woman of faith. And she said, God didn't give you those kids. God only loaned you those kids. They've got their own life. And it really is kind of it's a nostalgic thing. Mallory, you're bringing back all kinds of good memories of, you know, celebrating my kids' birthdays and, you know, and what that means as a parent to watch your child grow and as they step up into being an adult. And I know your mom is tremendously proud of you. And, you know, and I feel that too. Oh, I'm getting emotional. But it is, you know, there is very little so special as being a parent and watching your child as an adult talk about the things that they're passionate about, talk about their dreams, talk about what they're doing and what they've achieved. And you feel like I would give anything to have one of those early moments back where we were just sitting and reading a book. And you get kind of that feeling that they don't need you anymore. You know, my sons stopped needing a mommy a long time ago. I would always be their mother, but they didn't need me to be their mommy because I raised them to be their own people. So Mallory, you have an amazing, amazing dinner. And like I said, happy Labor Day to your mom. And I cannot imagine her being anything less than absolutely proud of the person that you have become. So on that happy note, we are going to call it an evening. I've got a video that I need to edit and upload for a church back in California. I used to do their YouTube videos and they were terrified I was going to stop. It's like, well, just email it to me and I can do it. So I'm going to go do that. And I want to thank everybody for coming in and hanging out. And we are going to go and see. Hold on. Let's see. Who is on? Is. Are you, where be ye? Padre, are you still on? Are you off? Let me know. Are you streaming? Are you not streaming? Speak out in the chat. Chocolate cake for the win. Yes. Are y'all still streaming? Because it is always so nice to be able to go and say hey. If not, we are going to go and say hi to our friend Katniss, who is just chatting, who is absolutely amazing. And she is she's a really delightful streamer from what is it, Ireland? I think she's Irish. I'm pretty sure she's Irish. And she is very nice. Doesn't Jay stream? Sometimes. He's not doing it right now. I don't think he's doing it right now. Underscore, let's see, TTV. Let me see if I got that right. 12 TTV. Yeah, she's absolutely sweet and an absolute delight, and she has these games and stuff that she does. So we're gonna go say hi to Katniss. If you can come along, that would be great. If you have to go along with your day, then have an amazing one. Please remember that you've got this. It may, whatever you're facing may feel like it's bigger than you, but it's not. It just feels that way. Please, please remember that while you've got this, we've got you. And we're not the only ones who have got you. You have backup. You have people who are there for you. You have people who are rooting for you. You have people who believe in you. Let them believe in you until you can believe in yourself. And please, 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 please remember that you are the only you in all the universe. You're the only you that's ever been and the only you that will ever be. And what that does is it makes you special, it makes you sacred, and most of all, it makes you necessary. Because as the only you in all of the universe would not be the same or complete without you. So, everyone, we will be back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, fist bump high five if you know that reference. And on behalf of Arby, Yoda, Animal, and Gerald the Christmas Cactus, and myself, I hope you have an amazing, awesome rest of your day, night, whatever experience. And as always, I wish you balance and I wish you blessings. From my heart to yours. So everybody, have a good day. Learn something new. I'm proud of you and I love you. Alrighty, the love train pulling out of the station. We will be heading over to go see Katniss. Otherwise, take care. Bye. Woo woo.